will not have you. I will not have you chewing cucumber on next to me and eating tuna fish this cannot happen. This is crazy.
Hello, my name is Mrs. Melanin.
And I'm Belief Mel.
And we're here with episode 223 of
How Married Are You? Okay, my name Belief. This is Yvette. We married 13 years. Live in California. We got 4 kids. Relationship scary. It's very necessary. We share our love of struggles. We ask, how married are you? Every Tuesday and Thursday, shawty. If you're listening, you're in a wedding party. It's okay if you want to put your hands up. You got the questions. We got the answers. Chocolate baby story time. Chocolate baby story time. It's tuna fish all on her breath. 1, 2, 3, and...
Oh, Lord. I cannot.
All right, so Anaya's birthday was this past weekend. And...
I'm really correct.
She's very interesting, man. You know what I mean? She had a good day overall, but she wants more. Like, she had demanded for me. She was like, look, Dad, on my birthday, you're not working. You're not going to work on my birthday. Now, it was a Sunday, so there's no reason why I would go to work on a Sunday. It's not normal for me to go to work on a Sunday. But I still told her, I don't know about that night. Not because I'm a workaholic or whatever. I just not privy to allowing kids to think that they can dictate what we do as adults. You know what I'm saying? So even though I had no plans on working, the fact that she had that request, like, I understand why that's important, but at the same time, like, you know,
it makes it worse when you already had intentions to do something for your child and then they ask you before you can fulfill what you already had planned to do. It's like, just leave me alone.
Yeah.
Like, I was already planning on doing that. Now I don't want to do it at all.
Yeah. Now I'm going to work just a little bit. Nah, but but last year on her birthday, I went to work.
No, we went to the zoo.
We did go to the zoo, but remember, I had to come here early to set up for ET because ET was here.
Oh.
And I had to clean the house because, like, a night or two before, you had someone with freaking pozole soup.
Not clean the house, clean the office.
Clean the office. Remember?
Oh,
it was like funky.
It was probably the night before.
Yeah. Anyway.
My chocolate baby story has to do with a request that Glenn made to Theo. Glenn was like, hey, Theo, can you go get my water bottle and fill it up with cold water?
Oh, my gosh.
Next thing you know, me and Glenn are sitting in our room and we hear the make the sound, babe. We hear
click, 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 click.
Theo is filling up Glenn's water bottle with ice, and Glenn's like, no, like, no ice, please, no ice. Because we don't drink. We don't really like use the stuff on the fridge, but the kids do all the time. They actually seem to prefer that water and stuff. And so Glenn was like, no. And then he just kind of sucked it up and was like, okay, I'll just take it. Whatever. He did me a favor. Thank you. He comes upstairs and I'm laughing because I know how gross that water is. This child came upstairs with not only his father's water bottle, he had filled up my water bottle as well. I was so upset and so grateful at the same time. It was like, how could an act of kindness and initiative irritate me so much? Because that water was gross.
Speaking of water bottles, right now, if you're looking and you're watching, you're seeing my water bottle light up. This is a Hydrate Spark water bottle. These water bottles are so dope because they let you know how much you're drinking each day via the app. And then they also alert you when you're supposed to be on time with your water bottle. So this is blinking, so that means I have to drink again. But check this out, guys. I don't know if there's like a link, maybe check in the description, but we'll definitely post a link for it. Super dope. You can definitely cop this. And this is like the replacement of like the 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 10 o'clock, you know what I'm saying, whole thing on the thing or whatever, where it's like listed on the water bottle. This is the new school version of that. So make sure you guys check this water bottle out. We are not affiliated with them, but we are definitely down to work with them because we love this product. Super dope. I have the 32 ounce. I think Yvette has the 21 ounce. Right, babe? It should tell you on the side right here. No, it doesn't tell you. Yeah. Anyway, check those out. We are here celebrating life and marriage and love and black love and all types of love here. Godly love, agape love, phileo love, right? So we want you to remember that if you love this content, make sure you like the video. Make sure you download the episodes and give it 5-star reviews and subscribe to the channel. And share this with someone you love, man. It's really important that you support the channel as you will. I will not have you chewing cucumber on next to me and eating tuna fish. This cannot happen. This is crazy. This is preposterous. I am so sorry. I know you're hungry. I'm so sorry, babe. This is crazy. The fact that you even had the audacity to think that you could come here and do that. Like, I'm just going to go eat during the podcast. What was your thought process?
My thought process was I couldn't eat at home. I was trying to get here so that I could record. Then I was like, oh, maybe I should eat in the car. But I was like, I don't want to risk all that comes with that. You know, tuna fish eating while driving is not easy, right? Then I got here and I just sat down here, brought my bowl with me. And then it was time to record. And next thing you know, I'm still hungry.
What's a version? Because you know how you have like, you know, the audacity, right? And then you have like the caucasity of it all, right? What's the mom version of that?
Momosity?
Because I'm like, or it's just you. Maybe it's just Evacity or something like that. I don't know.
It might just be me. I'm sorry, y'all. I won't do it anymore because I did catch a glimpse of myself and I was like, oh, my cheek's all full. I'm all done, but I am hungry. So let's wrap this up.
Let's get this over with. Okay. Anyway, tickets on sale right now, YvetteHenry.com.
And there you can eat however, whenever you want.
Yeah. You won't have your husband complaining about you bringing tuna fish to the
And let me tell you something. I am so in need of like a break.
You are.
So I'm excited about this. I'm getting more excited about it.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So let's get into this email. The title of the email is "Help! My husband does not trust me." Okay. Let me just go ahead and
Let me burp really quick.
I'm so mad. I am so mad.
I know you are. You're doing such a good job of concealing your anger, though. Hi, Yvette and Glenn. Please bear with me. English is not my first language, and neither is it mine. I would really like you guys' advice and input on my situation. For context, which I really love this context. We are 100% Black couple. I am 25 and my husband is 30. We are almost 6 years together this year and 3 years married. No kids yet due to 2 miscarriages in the last 3 years. I'm sorry for your loss.
So sad.
Last one was in February 2023, and I lost my grandmother 2 days after. Ooh, we are Christians. I am the oldest of 3 siblings. My mom and dad are still married 20 plus years, but live separate at this moment. Due to my dad's addictions with drugs, alcohol, porn, etc., he is not reliable. So growing up, I had to help my mom raise 2 younger siblings. So I never saw a healthy marriage, even though I saw my mom try everything to help my dad. On the other hand, my husband, his parents are still married and still live together. My husband loves his own space, has a really short attention span, and hates small talk. He always says that his dad never used to talk, and my husband used to stay in his room to deal with his ish, and his parents just leave him alone. Fast forward into our marriage relationship. The first few years were fairly good, minimum arguments, etc. The last 3 years, my husband has expressed to me that he does not trust me. Usually, out of the blue, I see his mood changes and he will just stop talking to me at random times. When I ask, is there anything wrong, he will say that nothing is wrong. When he's okay again, he will express to me that, in fact, something was wrong, but that he cannot trust me with his thoughts. Let me be very clear. I have never cheated on my husband or make him feel that way. His reason for not trusting me is, for example, these are real examples, by the way. Let's say if he asks how many toilet paper is in the bathroom, and I say, oh, a few or a good amount. And when he goes into the bathroom, he only sees 1 or 2 toilet paper. It was in there? Okay, Dad's going to help you. Also, another example, Valentine's Day, I wanted to gift our friends that live in our neighborhood a box of chocolate. I told him, hey, I'm going to gift them chocolate to let them know that we appreciate their friendship. He said, yes, good idea. I went to the supermarket to buy the chocolates. When I arrived, I saw the box of chocolate was too small for a couple to share, so I decided to buy 2 boxes instead of 1. I also put a small card with it. So the husband called my husband and thanked him for our gift. My husband asked me, what did you get them? Because the husband called me and was very appreciative. I replied, oh, just chocolate in a cart. Well, my husband got mad at me and said, you said 1 box. You should have told me it was 2 boxes in a cart. Honestly, I did not see the issue if it was 1 or 2 boxes in a cart. So his reply was, why is your reflex always lying? Oh, it has 1% battery. My battery over here is low too. Why is your reflex always lying? I felt very bad and immediately guilty and so on. So this is his reasoning to not trust me. He says he can never trust that what I said happened the way that I said. Clearly, our way of communicating is very different. Last year, we went to therapy for our communications and it was all good. But my husband expressed to me that he does not trust me and therefore he cannot trust me with his thoughts. And that's why when he is going through something, he never shares it with me. And that's what is eating him alive. That's why his mood switches from being perfectly fine to not wanting to talk to me, excluding me completely. We will have the best 2 days and then all of a sudden he will go into his moods and want nothing to do with me. I feel very unloved and rejected when he does this. I also express this to him, how it makes me feel, and he just replies, just leave me alone and I will be fine again. This is not okay, and we have a problem. This is a problem for me. What can I do? Is there something wrong with me? Can I communicate differently? How can I gain his trust back? He says, just give it time. I also said maybe we should go to therapy again, but he said, no, there's nothing to talk about. I feel very sad and hopeless. I do know that our marriage is under attack because when we are good, and wonders happen. Also, I have a very supportive mom. I ask her for advice, but also not every time, as my husband does not appreciate talking our issues with my mom. I just need help from you guys. Any advice or any input, please? P.S. I am a long-time listener, and thank you for being obedient. Your podcast blesses me every time I listen to it, especially on my daily walks. Love you guys, and thank you for your time.
All right, so... All right.
Man, I feel like there's a couple different things here.
I think it's one thing, but go ahead.
All right, go ahead.
Hear a couple different things.
Well, there was a statement that I wanted to kind of where did it go? She said something like, I don't make him feel that way, or something like that, to that effect.
Okay, yeah.
And I was like, I believe, or I've come to understand that we never intend to necessarily, or I shouldn't say never, oftentimes we don't intend to make people feel a certain way, but that doesn't mean we don't have to take responsibility for how we made someone feel. Does that make sense? I was like, where did she say it? How did she say it?
Go say more.
Hold on. I want to see how she said it because it made
She said, I've never made my husband feel like I cheated on him.
Where do you see it? Okay. Let me be very clear. I have never cheated on my husband or made him feel that way. Okay, now that statement, I understand why you could say that, I guess. But I just think it's something to be aware of, because I feel like there are times when you might do something and your intention is not to make me feel a certain way, but I end up feeling that way. And I guess you don't necessarily have to take accountability. I think most of those times.
For what? Like breathing?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like I do anything and you just like.
Exactly.
You hate me.
You should be dead.
Yeah.
No, I love him. I don't want him dead.
That's crazy.
That was crazy. Sorry. No, but what I'm saying is, I guess, let me hush. I have no thoughts.
What? What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are not complete, but I feel like
that's good.
Sometimes we don't intend to make people feel a certain way. However, they don't know they're making us feel that way until we express that. I recently had an interaction with a friend, and I had to let her know, like, hey, your lack of responsiveness made me feel like you don't care about this issue. But this was actually a bigger deal to me than whatever. If you're not ready to respond, let me know that, and let me know that you're going to be getting back to me rather than just leaving me on red. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so she was completely grateful to understand what I was feeling at her lack of response in that moment. But I feel like sometimes we have to either express to the person, like, this, your action made me feel this way. And then sometimes we're called to do an internal check, temperature check, because I feel like we sometimes feel a certain type of way unnecessarily so. I don't know how to, I'm not, like I said, my thoughts aren't fully there, but
No,
that statement kind of made me go, eh?
Yeah. So I think that the email is like, we're trying to figure out how we can help her problem. And the biggest issue I see here is that we have an individual who's emotionally undeveloped. So he doesn't know how to communicate, express himself or anything, but he weaponizes his emotions and places her at the her entry level is perfection. Like, she has to communicate exactly what she said, or she's lying, and therefore she's being deceitful. That's a nasty type of mental abuse. And
that is probably some childhood trauma that he has.
Who cares? I'm not even dealing with his childhood. We don't get the right to know his childhood, right? Like, we don't have that type of vantage point. The vantage point we do have is that he hasn't grasped how to communicate. And so he's weaponized. Like, at some point, whether he's your husband or not, you got to set the tone. Excuse me, I got it wrong. It was 2 toilet papers instead of 3. Don't accuse me of lying to you when I don't know the direct answer. Like, that's ridiculous. You might need to go check yourself out. Like, that's some stuff I'm kind of like, hey, man, the aggressiveness, I don't like that. He needs to be checked immediately. You know what I'm saying? Like, what type of douchebag speaks that way? You know? Emotional immaturity. He's immature. He cannot handle being told that there's less toilet paper than there is, or there was more than something bought than there is, right? I think that people who are manipulative in relationships try to use this type of mind control as a way to always keep their partner behind, so that they're always feel like they're owed something.
Interesting.
Like, I told you the gas tank was full. I filled the gas tank. You didn't tell me that this was this, so therefore you don't da-da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, bro, you don't even talk. So, you know what I'm saying? And next time it's kind of like, it's almost like she's got to walk on eggshells in order to be in a relationship with this person. So I'm not feeling this at all. You know what I mean? I think this is not, your husband doesn't trust you. I think the title of this email should be, your husband is manipulative and emotionally abusive. I'm not saying that's a cause for divorce, but it's a cause for extreme concern, because how you have a child with this person.
They don't have a child.
They had 2 miscarriages, so they got 2 angel babies, but how they're trying to have kids, right? And so how you walk, are you holding your mouth because you don't want to say nothing? Oh, sorry. I just didn't want to feel like I was. So how you have a child with this person, and then you're trying to work on a project together, which is essentially a child. What are you laughing at?
Because I just had a thought. She's got a husband who don't talk, and then I have a husband.
I talk too much. I talk too much. Am I emotionally abusing you?
No, it's not that you talk too much. You just very like Glenn's got all the analogies, all the whatever.
Oh, you gonna get my point.
And I appreciate it. I really do. No. So sometimes it is a little bit whelming, but it's always helpful when he's ready with examples. So I feel like we just have two extremes here.
I over communicate.
I don't know if I think there are times when you can over communicate.
Yes.
However, most of the time I need the way you communicate. I feel like we're built for each other.
That's not true. It sounds like you're trying to relate to her. So let's
wait, what? I'm not trying to relate to her.
So you think we were made for each other? Or do you think I could, because I can adjust. I don't have to be this. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I over-explain. Sorry.
I am appreciative of your examples because they often give me a way to relate to what you're feeling, or you know what I mean, or how I'm making you feel. Does that make sense? I don't know. Anywho, I'm not trying to relate. I'm just saying when you were like, are you holding your lips? Da, 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 and then it just made me chuckle because I was like, no, I'm just sitting here.
Yeah, but yeah. I'm sorry. I was reading into that because I was like, oh, maybe she has something to say and I'm interrupting her. Because sometimes when you are talking, I have to physically like go like this so I don't interrupt you.
You do that. So annoying.
So I don't interrupt you because I don't want to interrupt you.
No, it's you smirking and getting on.
Yeah, because I'm having conversations in my head.
Yeah, instead of listening to what I'm saying.
I'll be listening.
Mm-hmm. We know you can. Oh, my goodness. That is beautiful.
Naya.
It's a perfect rainbow.
That is a nice rainbow.
And the sky and the sun.
Is that a person in the middle of the rainbow?
That's me.
Oh, I love it. That's like what I drew the other day. Yeah. Okay.
You can just let her have that.
It is like what I drew the other day. I put her in the center of a rainbow.
All right. Let's get back to his email. I like what Glenn said about him weaponizing those very minor lies. We're all mistaken.
They're not lies.
I mean,
the miscalculations.
Miscalculations. Because there are times when I go to the grocery store, I'm like, oh man, we have plenty of paper towels. And then I get home, I'm like, oh my goodness, where are the paper towels? And I'm mad that I didn't get paper towels. And I understand the frustration, but that is no means to not trust myself. It's just, hey, I got to write down a list. Or maybe he desires you to over communicate, but these are not things you need to over communicate about. It's one thing to be like, hey, I took $10 out the bank account versus like 1,000, you know? Like, those are different extremes of the thing. But I align with what Glenn is saying as far as him kind of being manipulative. Not kind of. He is being manipulative.
He doesn't. He
go
might
ahead.
not know he's being manipulative.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say is like, if he is, because you, what did you say? He was emotionally abusive? I don't know
if he's emotionally undeveloped and emotionally abusive.
Yeah, and I don't know if emotionally abusive is a fair assessment, because some people just really don't know how to communicate. Okay. And if he comes from a background, and I know you're like, oh, who cares about his whatever.
Leaving it in.
Who cares about his past trauma? He could really have like past trauma where people have told him one thing and then lied. And so the littlest lies trigger him.
Yeah, I get that, but that's not her fault. That's not her problem.
It's definitely not her fault.
It is her problem, but so I'm saying like this. So I'm saying like, okay, I think he's emotionally abusive because he's emotionally undeveloped.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like it's someone who doesn't know how to drive a car. This is my analogies. Here I go. Someone who doesn't have the license to drive gets into a car and they get arrested for reckless endangerment. They were driving recklessly. Right, they're endangering other people, and they're recklessly driving. But they're recklessly driving because they don't know how to drive. Right, so if you don't know how to communicate, you're going to be emotionally abusive because you just don't know how to communicate. But I think that I don't even know if it's not him not knowing how to communicate. It's the fact that she has to be right. You know what I'm saying? Like that expectation for her to not remember correctly makes her. I would be like, well, I'm not gonna say anything because you're gonna take it offensive. You know what I'm saying? Like we've had relationships where it's like when somebody walks into a room, the expectation is for them to get it perfect, and if they don't get it perfect, then it's kind of like we're gonna have to talk about this. Like, man, I don't care about being perfect. You got that expectation. That's your problem. That's not my problem. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to chaperone me while I'm in a room. You don't have to chaperone me while I'm having conversations with people. I'm not doing it. Let me lower the bar for you. It's not happening. You know? So I think she has to stand up for herself. Unfortunately, this is who she married. You know what I mean? He's got a lot of work to do. You know? Ugh. Once again.
These men out here.
No, once again, I mean, like, I don't know who stands for that. I have something to say to you.
To who? The man?
The people out there listening.
Okay.
When you choose a friend, like choose that person as somebody who you're gonna confess to. Like confess your issues to your friends so that they can help you reach a resolution. Don't put that on your parents. Don't put that on your children. Like make friends. Like have friends, yo. I'm recognizing that relationships with family can be really great, and it's supposed to be, but some people will allow you to like weigh down. Hold on, baby. Will allow you to weigh down all that stuff and give you that information as a entry fee to access with them. Like they will want you to have a safe place to spill all your stuff just so they can remain in relationship with you in an intimate way. But it doesn't always bring accountability or reconciliation or, you know, like it doesn't give you what you need, which is, hey man, you're tripping. You know, that's not enough anymore. You need to have friends who are gonna be like, man, don't stand for that. You know, or you could hold more weight than that. You could do more than that. You could push harder. I could spot you, you know? I think our relationships should feel more like gym partnerships and less like therapy couches.
Say more.
Because I think there's a place, I think all we do is therapize now. Like all we do is sit there. She's a safe space for me. He lets me be myself. He da-da-da-da-da. It's kind of like, okay, now that you're a safe space, we got to build some strength so you can hold, like you can withstand some, you know, resistance. We got to build strength, bro. I don't know.
I like that.
I'm not saying that we shouldn't have that therapy place, but therapists get paid for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like those people exist for a reason. And then personal trainers get paid for a reason. I think we need more personal trainer type relationships, especially as men.
Yeah.
But I also believe that men need that too, hey man, just tell me what's on your mind. Man, I feel like this and this and this. I remember one time I was tripping off something you said. I'm like, man, I just don't think she da-da-da-da-da. Like I was saying something and my homie Daniel Golden, he was like, it seems like you got a little bit more emotion tied to that. I was like, yeah, I don't think that's what she's saying at all. I think you have an issue. This is like not stemming from this. It's coming from somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like I was relating two things that, you know, didn't relate, you know, in the relationship. And my homie was like, nah, man, I think you're tripping. That's my thoughts on this. I think when you're new in a relationship, I think depending on what you've seen and what culture you come from, this type of stuff could be normal. But I don't think it's that your husband doesn't trust you. I don't
Maybe
think
he doesn't trust himself.
I think he doesn't like her. And this is hard to say from like just two podcast people listening to your situation, but it seems like there would be more grace for you. There should be more grace. So Have they done therapy?
She said, yeah. They've done therapy, and she
Last year we
suggested
went to
going
therapy.
back to therapy. I wonder how long the therapy lasted, because I feel like you got to go to more than just 1 or 2 sessions, y'all, for a therapist to really be effective in relationships.
Yeah, I think that couples therapy is really, really good, but I think it should lead you to individual. Like, because I'm recognizing that, like, most of my issues with Yvette revolve around me.
Amen.
You know, and my
And vice
upbringing.
versa.
I was gonna get to you in a second. Like, most of my issues with Yvette revolve around me, my childhood trauma, but also my relationship with God specifically.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I think the same is with Yvette. Her relationships with me, like when you went to your
Why you bringing up old stuff?
you went
Why you bringing up old stuff?
your intensive
Yeah.
out in Seattle or Fox Island or wherever you went, and like you were sitting there trying to talk about me. Lily, hush now.
Yeah, and he'd be like, and he'd let me, because he was like, oh no, this is about your parents, yada yada yada. And then I try to bring up Glenn,
And my husband just
because I was like, I don't want to go back there. Let me talk about the current issues I have. And then I would talk about the current issues, and he's like, but you see how that relates to your father doing da 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 da. And I was like, oh my goodness.
yeah.
It all relates, y'all. It all circles back. And I even heard my mom recently say that, like how she's surprised by how it relates back to her family of origin. It all does.
Yeah, and unfortunately, your spouse gets the brunt of that.
Mm-hmm.
Your spouse and your children get the brunt of that, and especially if you're in a relation, if you're single and you have kids, your children get the brunt of it. If you're married, your spouse gets the brunt of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's not your spouse's responsibility to do your internal deep childhood work. That's your responsibility. Like, that's something you should be focusing on right now in life. And I would say, and that is
Keep talking.
no. I want that awkwardness to just sit right there in the episode.
Oh my gosh.
I would say that one of the things that I would say to this lady who's writing in here, oh, wow, a little spillage. A little spillage, too. You guys can't see it on camera, but it is now, you know, it is now one with the desk.
Can you go get me a paper towel? Thank you, baby.
I would say that it's okay for this lady here to go to therapy on her own, to build up the support for the foundation she's gonna need to communicate what she deserves in her relationship.
Yeah.
Because you can't change him.
Yeah.
You can't change him. If he's like that and he's weird like that, he's just gonna be weird like that. You know what I'm saying? Unless you pray to God, fast. You know what I'm saying? Like, pray for him on a whole nother level.
Thank you.
Right? And he sees he's called to repentance. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Lord's kindness brings him to that place, or the Lord's rebuke brings him to that place. But I also think there's another level where you need to know that you are not trying to earn his trust in this way.
Yeah.
This is not, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we were in the session with you and talking on some mentor stuff, I would totally be checking him and asking him all types of questions about why he feels responsible. And this is what the men in my life have done. I'll check real quick. Hey, that's not appropriate. Why does your wife feel like that? Mm-hmm. Why is she why would you say that? You know, and they may not ask that in front of her, but they'll check me behind the scenes and be like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? You're off. Yeah. So I wonder if he listens to the podcast.
She said, can I communicate different? How can I gain his trust back? Yeah, you don't have to gain his trust back. There was never a point in which you lost it. And I think you're doing a pretty good job communicating, but he's the one that is having the communication deficit. So I guess Glenn is suggesting that you go to therapy on your own so that you can learn how to stand up for yourself better or find the language to be able to do that. Yeah, I guess that's a good, because I was going to say, just say this, or just say that, but.
No, you can gain his trust back, and you can by being perfect, which you can't be. Mm-hmm. So.
It's an unrealistic expectation.
Yeah, it's an unrealistic expectation. You're going to have to be perfect, which is impossible. So, all right.
How married are you, love?
Oh, what was it? I'm so married that the other night you wanted to get Anaya's balloons blown up.
Booed up.
And it was like 12 o'clock at night. And you were like, oh, I left the balloon blow up machine at the office. And at 12 o'clock at night, I drove to the office and got the balloon blow up thing. So you can blow up the balloons.
Did you need something from the office?
No, I didn't. But I did get something from the office.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't need it.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what it was. It was the suction cup things for the GoPro cameras for the side of the thing. But I didn't need that. I could just stick it in the headrest.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for doing that.
Oh, my gosh.
That was so helpful.
I am worthless.
No, it was funny because when you volunteered to go get it, I was like, he probably needs something from the office and trying to act like a dutiful husband right now. But I'll take it. Go ahead on to the office because I don't feel like getting up.
Remind me not to do that anymore. I'll let you blow them up by mouth.
We would have been doing it together. And that could have been how married you are.
I promise you the Lord has given me so much knowledge in restoration and therapy. I would have protected myself from that. I would not be blowing up balloons. You know how ashy a balloon is? How married are you, babe?
I'm so married. I'll use this one. Glenn has this thing he does where he'll take his watch off at night or like whenever, and he'll just kind of plop it wherever, and it'll end up on the bed or
you did this one already.
Did I?
Yeah. Choose another one. How married are you?
The other day, Glenn would, I'm in breath school right now. And so I had class and Glenn was like, hey, you can just go do class at the office. And I was like, okay, cool. I come home, Glenn has schooled the kids and he's spent the entire day with the kids. And you can notice that his patience, it's running low. And so while he was with the kids all day, he was not with me all day. And I really just wanted to be all up under him. But I could tell that he was all done. And so he escaped to the toilet. He went to the bathroom.
We have a nice bathroom.
And I chose to leave him alone. Normally, I'll knock on the door. I'll FaceTime him. I'll like stick my fingers under the door. But this particular day, I took inventory of what he did and how he spent his time. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to leave him alone. And yes, he doesn't know that I did that. But I did write it down because it was so hard to do.
Babe, you walked past the door and I saw your shadow.
Did you? Do you remember this?
Yes. Walked past the door in the bathroom. I was like, oh my gosh, here she comes. Listening to see if poop is coming out of my butt. I will literally be in the bathroom and Yvette will be like, I don't hear no pooping. Get out of there. Are you actively pooping right now? and
that's just how married we are.
Goodness gracious.